Well, good morning, everybody. I am the Bald Guy. I'm so happy you have returned as we continue our journey through chapter 6 in Genesis. Now, we're on the part of the flood and Noah building the ark, and we're going to discuss that here in just a little bit. But first, we have to answer a very important question because it does pertain to the flood itself, and that is the why question. Why does God kill? And why does he have people kill? Why does he send people to hell? And why would he punish us? If he's such a loving God, why would he do this? I mean, if he loves us and cares for us so much, why would he do this stuff? Wow. Now, that's a deep question, folks. And all three of them basically have the same answer. It's mixed up into different parts, and you can explain it a lot of different ways. Now, to skeptics, it's going to be the most hardest thing to answer for them because they have the one thing that we lack. Now, as Christians, we have faith. That's the key thing first, is that you have to have faith in God, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what happens, because without that, nothing. Now, we have to remember God is loving and he is patient, but he is also just. Okay, there's a mix in there, okay, of his patience, of his love, and his justice. He is perfect, righteous judge. He's not only our Father, but he also is the perfect judge too. And we have to realize that God cannot allow sin to continue, period. And he will wait, and he will wait, and he will wait until finally, basically, there is no choice but for him to act. And a lot of it is based on the circumstances involving, okay, the flood. Let me take that. Now, from our previous video, we learned that it was 120 years, correct? Well, God waited 120 years for people to turn around before the flood came. He was building that ark, giving them the best sign he could give them that something bad's coming if they don't change their ways. And all they did was mock and did not turn, just kept doing what they were doing. And finally, the flood came and destroyed everything because they wouldn't turn. And remember why? This is the circumstance part, is that so Jesus could come. Okay, because if he didn't act, then eventually the world would have turned Noah's sons. And there would have been no more lying. I mean, we were down to the wire. Okay, God was down the wire, and him being a righteous and perfect judge, he had to do it. Basically, we left him no choice to do it. That's the best answer that you can actually get as far as that circumstance goes. Okay, and if you go to the Israelites, because we're focusing on this kill thing, is that when he had the Israelites take out people after they entered the land, well, look how long he gave those people to turn. I mean, it was thousands of years, and all they did was continue their evil, worshiping other gods, sacrificing their children. How long do you think that God should allow something like that to continue? And then people would say, well, he had to wipe out the children and stuff too. Well, it was a start over. It was a complete start over, just like the flood. Everybody was gone, had to be gone. Israelites didn't do it. Now look what happened. We can see the consequences of that today. And then that brings us back to punishment. You see how that works? So, the answer to the kill thing is a very complex issue because it's a matter of faith. There are things we just can't answer. We're not God. Okay, and we are just humans. Okay, and we look at things through human eyes and not through God's eyes. So we cannot really comprehend the way he looks at it. All we can do is look at what's in the Bible and the patience that God had in waiting before he acted. And that is that. And everything is based on our free will. Remember, we talked about that. We have that choice. And they had that choice, and we have it too. So you see what I'm saying? So that's the best answer I give it to that one. And hell's the same. Hell focuses in on that same concept of our free will. That's the big one. Is that why would God send people to hell? He doesn't send nobody there, folks. I got to tell you, he sends nobody there. Okay, we have that choice. You have that choice to believe in God, have faith in God, have faith no matter what happens, is that you're going to love him and serve him because he is your creator. Okay? Or the choice not to believe. And if you don't believe, he doesn't want a robot. He doesn't want to force you into heaven and to be with him and serve him forcefully. He wants it willingly. So you see that difference? So if you're serving him willingly, yes, you're going to be with him. If you choose not to serve him, if you choose not to believe in him, that's a concept in itself. Not everybody believes in some sort of God, whether they say they do or don't. They're serving something. And whatever they want to call a God, okay, they don't have to even mention that word God, but they are serving something. Whether they believe it or not, they are. And if you choose to serve that, whatever it is, and not our Creator, then you made that choice. So God would never send anybody to hell. He doesn't want any of us to go. So those two aspects of it, that's just the way it was. Okay, and that's the way it is. Choice, free will. Okay. He wouldn't have wiped out the earth if we would have chose to obey him. And they would have chose to obey him back then. Okay. But didn't. And we have a Savior. We have somebody that's going to save us. And all we have to do is just this amazing concept of putting all this religious stuff out, having faith, and believing in him. Wow. Boom. Mind-blowing, ain't it? How simple it is. God came down to show us how simple it is. Because remember what Jesus said. If you want answers to these two parts here, remember what Jesus said. Okay, well, how do we serve? God did. Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and spirit, and love others the same. Boom. Well, what about all these rules and stuff? Come on, man. Really? God doesn't want you to be a robot doing all this stuff, man. He wants you to love. And then everything else that is told to do because of you believing, it's not that you have to do them. It's because you want to do them. You see how that works? The love in your heart, you're going, I don't want to do this stuff anymore. The stuff that's in the Ten Commandments, I want to do that. I want to strive to do that. Okay? That's God. That's what God's saying is that stuff we should do, and I want to. I want to strive not to do that. Am I going to fail? Absolutely. We all do. But the point is that we do it. So, folks, have faith. Okay? And if somebody asks you about this stuff, you got to tell them. First thing is faith. Second thing is free will. So, you've got to have that free will to choose. Choose God. And the second thing is to have the faith. Have faith in God. Okay? Now, I see my time is short, so my next video, we're going to focus directly on the punishment part. That's a rough one, because that one in itself is a very hard thing even for us as believers to ask. Now, the hell and the killing part, yeah, we can answer that because it's in the Bible. I mean, it's like there. I mean, we can see it as plain as day. Okay, they're all three rolled kind of into one concept, but the punishment part, because God punishes children like we punish ours. And some very bad things can happen to non-believers and believers. So why? Now we're going to try to delve into that a little bit on my next video. Now I hope you learned a lot from this. And I hope you learned a lot on how to answer some skeptics. And hopefully it kind of opens their mind up to, wow, that's kind of interesting. Because that's kind of the way you want to answer them. Is that hopefully that they will come around to have that faith in God after they believe in Him, because this stuff is true, and it's amazing, and you don't need to tell people that, hey, once you become a Christian, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. Okay, because that's what they tried to do way back when the church first started, and all these fake people came in. That's what the apostles, that's what Jesus was saying. It's this intimate personal relationship that you can have. And it's amazing, and it's fun, and the Bible is filled with amazing stuff that shows you how to do that, how to have a relationship so your heart is open to Him. Okay? It's not about nothing else. Okay? You don't have to do all of this stuff. You want to do all of this stuff because it's just like cool. And your life, even though it may be filled with hardship, the inside of you is filled with a love that just cannot be measured. I mean, that is why people die for Christ. When these evil people kill people after they turn to Christ in these other third world countries, which I'm sure is going to be coming here eventually. We are in the end times, and we're going to end up dying for Christ too. But the point is, if we're still around during that time. But the point is basically a very simple one of they're willing to do that because they love God. They have faith. They believe. And no matter what is done to their bodies, no matter what they do to them, is that God loves them and they're going to be with them. And that's our goal. We want to be with them. I mean, we want to go. We want to go, folks. Don't you want to go? I know I do. You know, I don't want to spend eternity in torment. I'd rather spend eternity with God. And it's full of love. And if you accept that, you've got that love, man. And it's, oh, wow. I mean, it's so cool. It's unbelievably cool. And you might shed some tears. You might hurt. But at the same time, you'll love God. So we're going to delve into punishment on my next video. I hope you learned a little bit. I hope I can help. I don't have no answers. Look stuff up for yourself. That's all I can tell you. That's my point. Is that some of these are my opinions. Some of these are facts. I'm just trying to open the mind up a little bit to the Bible and show you that instead of religion, work on a relationship. That's what this book is about. Okay? So I am the Bald Guy. I will see you next time. Peace out.